First of all, a big shout out, Mazel Tov to Rabbi Gela for her baby boy. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Okay, let's start Rabbi Yisrael with something like this. Gavaldik Yisrael today. We're going to try to go through as much as we can of some of the positivities of what a person can accomplish by being shomer his eyes. Until now, we've been speaking a little bit about the negativity and the downside and everything that could happen on that side. I want to bring it up a level and try to go to the other side of the coin, Be'ez Hashem. And then next week, the Siyata Dishmaya, I would like to go through some of the strategies that are important on a practical level. What can we do? What should we do to help ourselves as much as we can on a very practical level? The Heilige B'nai Yissaschar, that many of us, Be'ez Hashem, B'Siyata Dishmaya, will be at in just over a week's time. The B'nai Yissaschar on Chanukah brings an Arizal. The Arizal, and he quotes, says like this, says that Ma'at Maisim Tovim, a small amount of positive, a small amount of good that a Klal Yisrael can do Bizman Hazeh, when there is so much darkness, when there is so much tumah, when there is so much impurity. And remember, he's talking about the time of the Arizal. Kol Shekain for Kol Shekain nowadays. Zuk de Bnei Yissaschar hu choshev maharbe matanoim bizmanom. Zuk de Heilige Bnei Yissaschar. When a Yid has the opportunity to do something bad, he has the opportunity to look at something impure, and he turns away his eyes to say, no, I'm not doing this. This is not me. This is not what I'm doing. This is not what I'm looking at. Zog de Bnei Yissaschar. He's greater than some of the Tanoim. That's an unbelievable thing if you think about it. That's amazing. That means just a small amount of good in the right direction turns us greater than some of the Tanoim. That's the Lashon of Bnei Yissaschar from the Arizal, and he was talking about in the time of the Arizal. Can you imagine who would have thought about nowadays? The Heilige Psalm Vision brings from the Oyev Yisrael that he says that every single time a Yid is Oymid B'Nesoyin, and he says, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not looking. I'm not going to continue looking. I'm not going to press those buttons. Zug the Heilige Vision of Oyev Yisrael, he's Mekarev HaGeula. The Geula comes a little bit closer, and it's because of him. Because he does that. There's a Moed Galoshen in Mesechtes Derech Eretz. In Perek Aleph in Mesechtes Derech Eretz, the Gemara tells us, Chazal tell us, Kol haroya dova erva ve'eina zones einov. When a person sees an erva, and sometimes it's not in your control. You're walking down the street and you're looking to see if the lights are green and there's an erva there. It's not my fault to look. It's not what he says. And if you see an erva ve'eina zon es einov, that means you don't enjoy it, you don't keep looking, you don't stare, you don't get pleasure from it, then Zoiche u'mekabel penei hashchina, that a person can get such a high madrega that he's zoiche to mekabel the shchina. There's a moedik rosh in the Orches Chaim LaRosh, where the Rosh tells us that the moment a person is Omid B'Nesoyin, the moment a person says, no, I'm not looking, I'm turning away, I'm closing my eyes, I'm not going to look again, I'm not going to press the button, at that moment, he has a koyach of tefillah like none other. He has an opportunity to daven for whatever he wants, says the Rosh. It's an unbelievable opportunity, and Rabbi said, remember this. Next time you have an opportunity to have an asoyin, there's something in front of you, you could press the buttons, whatever it may be, and you say, no, I'm not doing it. At that moment, says the Rosh, daven. Because you have no idea the koyach of your tefillah at exactly that moment. It's an amazing thing, and it goes the other way also, says the Rosh in Orches Chaim, how much it can affect a person's tefillahs as well if he doesn't watch his eyes. There's a Moedik ben Ish Chai, that when the Kohen Gadol went into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, didn't happen very often, many of them died. A Kohen Gadol walked in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, he said the Shem Havai Yud Kei Vav Kei 10 times. Yud Kei Vav Kei 10 times is the Gematria Reis Samach 260. The Gematria of an ayin is an eye, is 130. 130 times 2 eyes is 260. Zuk the Ben Ish Chai. When a person watches his eyes and he's careful of his 2 eyes, he has the same madrega as the Kohen Gadol walking inside the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Do you know what that means? We have an opportunity to walk into the Kodesh HaKadoshim when we don't look at that which we want to look at. When we're careful from all of those things. And I don't have to tell you how much on a practical level it helps your marriage, how much it helps a person. Just imagine. I mean, we can't even imagine such a thing. But imagine A guy walks into the yichud room. He just got married. He waited months for the chasana. This is the girl of his dreams. He walks into the yichud room. And there he is. He's on his phone looking at inappropriate things in front of his wife. And she's like, hello? What's going on? And the teretz is, think about a guy that's married, that looks all the time at different things that he shouldn't be looking at. What type of marriage, what type of geschmack does he have in the physical relationship? It's not much. It's not geschmack. Whereas someone that watches himself, someone that's able to control himself, that has discipline, has the ability to have a relationship with his wife like none other. So not only does it help you in the ruchnius, it helps you in the gashmius also. So Rabbi said we're dealing with something incredibly positive if a person watches himself. And again, like I said, next week, Be'ez Hashem, we'll try to go through some strategies, practically, how to do it and what should we do if we fall and all these sorts of things that we'll get to. But that's a very important idea. There's a Moedige Gemara in Tainis Daf Chof Aleph. The Gemara in Tainis Daf Chof Aleph brings us about a Yid, a story about a Yid called Abba Umna. Abba Umna was a very interesting Yid. He was a doctor. And every single day, the Gemara in Tainis Chof Aleph tells us, a baskol came to him. Mamash had the Shechina by him every single day. A baskol every single day came to him and told him, Shalom Aleichem. What a gewaltige schos. Baskol coming to say Shalom Aleichem. It's an amazing thing. Continues the Gemara. Abaya also got a baskol. He got it once a week. Rava also got a baskol. He only got it on Erev Yom Kippur. The Gemara tells us that Abaya got Chalisha Sadas. A chutzpah. This doctor, Abba Umna, he gets it every day. I get it once a week. Look, Abaya, hello? What's pshat? I also want it. Well, why does he get it more than me? The Gemara explains. The reason is he was a doctor, and doctors in those times very often used to let blood. Person had high blood pressure, whatever, used to let blood. Now, letting blood reveals sometimes some of the areas of skin that shouldn't be looked at by a woman. You know, from a woman's perspective, right? And therefore, the Gemara tells us what happened was, he had a specific, first of all, he had two different times for men and women, two different rooms, and not only that, he had a specific item of clothing made for when he takes blood, that he should put it on the area where the blood is taken from, and there's a little hole, and that hole will allow him just enough to be able to put the needle through, to allow him to take the blood. Says the Gemara, that's why he was zoicha to a baskol every single day more than a baya. You know why? Because he made himself a geder. He made himself some kind of fence, ad kan. That I'm not going to do. I know myself, I have to know myself, everyone here has to know themselves, where we're holding, what gets us in the wrong direction, and therefore he made gedorim. When a person makes gedorim, what happens? He's able to have the shechina. It's an unbelievable thing. People complain, I don't feel it, I'm not into it, not geschmack. Little do they realize, a lot of that comes because they're not watching their eyes, they're not careful. A boy calls me from America, not so long ago, he says to me like this. He said he had a cousin, this cousin wasn't married, and she was rather old, and he really was desperate for her to get married, really wanted to do something to help her get married. So he decided to take upon himself to watch the Vayimoin video every single day. For anyone here that doesn't know, Vayimoin is the most incredible, unbelievable thing that's going on right now in Klal Yisrael, helping people for Shmiras Einayim. It's a video every single day from amazing Rabbanim and speakers who speak about the gadlus of Shmiras Einayim on a positive way. And he was makabel on himself. He told me the mice himself. He was makabel on himself. 40 days I'm watching Vayimoin video every single day. Motzei Shabbos, I'll watch the Erev Shabbos. I'll make sure I get it into 40 days. And it gives me a chizik every day in Shmiras Einayim. And that's the whole Yesod. By the way, the whole Yesod of Vayimoin is every single day you get that little bit of a chizik. Keep you going for the whole day. He said on the 40th day, he told me the Maisa, on the 40th day, his cousin got engaged. It was a Maisa Shahaya, it happened, he told me the story himself, he called me up to tell me. We have no idea the bracha that we have in our lives, in Ruchnius, and of course Gashmius, when we watch our eyes. It's the most amazing thing. And we'll just end with one last thing. There was a Yid that took a tour in a blind center. A blind center is a place where they deal with blind people, they help them out, they teach them Braille, they teach them how to live by being blind. It's a terrible, terrible machlo Rahman al-Islam, we should never know, but I'll upon him. This is a blind center that helps these people. And this guy was taking a tour. And the manager, when he walks in, says, excuse me, there are 3 types of people. You have to tell me one of them that you want to visit. You can't go to all of them. There's people that were born blind. They were born from the beginning of their lifetime blind. They never saw in the world. They never saw anything in their life. Then there's another type of people. The people that went blind already earlier on in life at some stage, and we're here to help them how to deal with it. And then we have a third type of people. And the third type of people are the people that right now they can see. They can see normally. but they have some kind of disease, they have a problem, that in a few weeks, months, days, hours, years, who knows, they're going to lose their eyesight. So we're here to prepare them for when that's going to be. Which one would you like to see? So he'd say, I'd like to see the latter. I'd like to see the group of people that are going to become blind. I want to see what they're learning. I want to see how you're teaching them, how you're preparing them. So he goes in, and you can see these people, they can see him, no problem. And this one's learning Braille. This one's learning how to walk in different ways. They're all having their mahalach of how to teach them, how to prepare them for what's going to be. And one of the people gets up and he says to the guest that came in, my dear guest, I want to tell you something. Do you know what it's like to have a gun pointing to your head with the trigger almost being pulled? That's what we feel like. Every moment of our lives, we don't know when it's going to happen, but we are going to lose our eyesight forever. And we're taking in the world, they told him, as much as they can. They're chopping every bit of color, every shape, every person, every flower, every tree, whatever they could see, they're chopping and chopping whatever they can. And he said he came out of the blind center. He's from Yid. He came out of the blind center. He said he never said the bracha b'keach ivim with so much kavanah after that. After the realization that our eyes is something that the Rebbeinu Shalom has given us, to look at the positive, to look at something good, to look at somebody else, to smile at somebody else, or to see somebody else happy, to look at a black Gemara, to look at the world that the Rebbeinu Shalom created. We should say the bracha with kavanah. We should mean it. We should understand the beautiful gift that Hashem has given us, and use it in the right way, and Be'ez Hashem will be zoicha to all of the brachas that we spoke about today. Be'ez Hashem. Next week, we're going to go through some practical strategies of what to do lemaisa. Have a wonderful day.